They called them chocolate soldiers, a joke, an insult. The idea was simple. Put these boys under real pressure and they'd melt. Many of them were only 18 or 19, young militia soldiers with barely enough training for what was coming, thrown into the wettest, steepest, most brutal jungle on earth. What was coming was Japan's battle-hardened South Seas Detachment, thousands of soldiers climbing the Kokoda Track toward a single Australian outpost called Isurava, toward Port Moresby, toward the gateway to Australia itself. Standing in their way, roughly 400 exhausted Australian soldiers. This is the story of 4 desperate days that helped decide whether the Japanese would break through to Port Moresby, Australia's vital shield to the north. August 26, 1942. The Japanese attack begins. Wave after wave, sometimes 10 or 11 assaults in a single day, often at night, often in torrential rain. The Australians have no artillery, almost no heavy weapons at all, just rifles, a handful of Bren guns, grenades and bayonets, against mountain guns and mortars. The jungle is so thick that men can't see more than a few meters in front of them. Japanese soldiers slip through the mist and appear inside Australian lines before anyone can react. Some of this battle isn't fought with bullets. It's fought hand to hand, fists, rifle butts. Whatever a man is holding when the enemy is suddenly standing right in front of him. Reinforcements are climbing the track to relieve the exhausted 39th Battalion, battle-hardened veterans who had already fought in the Middle East. They don't make it in time. The attack hits first, and the exhausted militia and the arriving veterans are forced to fight side by side before the relief can even be completed. Then, on August 29th, the line breaks. Japanese troops punch straight through toward battalion headquarters. If they get through, it's over. A private named Bruce Kingsbury grabs a Bren gun. He doesn't take cover. He charges into the breach ahead of the others, firing from the hip, cutting a path through the Japanese advance until the position is restored. Moments later, a sniper's bullet ends his life. Bruce Kingsbury became the first Australian ever awarded the Victoria Cross for actions on Australian territory. He was 24 years old. He wasn't the only one. Lieutenant Thomas Butch Bissett held vital high ground with just 35 men against repeated Japanese attacks. Mortally wounded while distributing grenades under fire, he died hours later in the arms of his own brother Stan, who was fighting beside him. Acting Corporal Charlie McCallum, already wounded 3 times, held off the advancing Japanese with a Bren gun and a Thompson submachine gun, buying time for his comrades to withdraw. He was recommended for the Victoria Cross. He received the Distinguished Conduct Medal instead. He was killed only a week later. By the time the Australians completed their withdrawal from Isurava, 99 were dead and another 111 wounded. The Japanese lost even more, around 140 killed, over 200 wounded, and Isurava fell. The Japanese took the ground. Technically, they won the battle, but what they came for was total destruction of that Australian force, and they didn't get it. The defenders fought their way out, still intact, still fighting, still slowing the advance one exhausted mile at a time. Weeks later, the Japanese army came within 40 kilometers of Port Moresby. Then their offensive collapsed. They never got closer. They never got through. Today, if you walk onto that battlefield, there's a memorial standing exactly where those boys once dug their trenches with bayonets and empty tins because they had no proper tools. 4 granite pillars, 4 words: courage, endurance, mateship, sacrifice. Nobody called them chocolate soldiers after that.